Well, the roof is closed, but as you can probably tell, the mouths of these Cowboy fans could not be more wide open. It is a frenzied AT&T Stadium in Arlington. That's complete to Dobbs. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's second down. If you're these receivers, you got to be ready, because when he's going to throw it quick on that RPO, he's going to throw it quick.
And this is why you spend time with your guy either in the offseason, during the week, the whole bundle. Because sometimes it's just telepathy. You both see the same thing, and he knows get the ball to him right away.
And he will go down. A Cowboys sack.
Micah Parsons showing off that elite athleticism as he gets the sack. But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at third down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback too.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
He'll get this into the hands of the rookie from Texas.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
That's a play that may get lost in the grand scheme of things, but one thing's for sure. You certainly don't want to go 3 and out to start the game. So that's a nice job of finding the right play call and coming up with a first down.
First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Now 2nd and 9.
Glove. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
Now Love. He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Working out of the gun, Love. And this is caught at the 8.
And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Is this a hold, or did they rough the quarterback?
So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal.
Jacobs is in. Touchdown, Packers.
Well, just about an ideal start to this one offensively, because on the road, you want to make sure you quiet the home crowd early. And how do they do it? Nice march to start things off, let the run game find its footing early. That drive certainly checked a lot of boxes, and they finished it off with a touchdown run.
Extra point from McManus is good, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Dallas offense set for this next drive.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. They begin with a carry for Blue. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
A first carry now. This is Williams. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here's 3rd and a few inches.
They'll try to run for it with Blue. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? Am I out of touch a little bit?
It's all right.
All right, grease board, heck, computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Love looking to throw it.
Short throw. He's got Kraft.
Only able to gain a couple there, and that will bring up 2nd down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down.
This is 2nd and 8.
Out of the shotgun, it's Love. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
Out routes are always timing routes, and if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. Throwing, Love. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a 1st down.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the 1st down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
They go bootleg. Love. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
2nd and 10.
Love now. That'll be caught right side by Reed. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
Here is 3rd and 5.
To throw now. Here's Love. He finds his man. Complete. That's Jacobs. And he goes out right around the 39. That one goes for 8 yards.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
Love from the gun. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack.
Micah Parsons. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. Fighting through it, he's got space.
And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Well executed there on second down, so do you go back to the air on third?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a second time.
Play fake. Here's Love. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 32-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd down and 6 now. Love, they go play action now. Going for it all. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go up the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. In motion, the tight end.
Love from the gun on 3rd down. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24.
Micah Parsons in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out.
And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Here's Love. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers.
Romeo Doubs.
A 24-yard touchdown.
And the Packers lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game.
Now McManus to tack on the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. To throw is Prescott.
Pass complete to Jalen Tolbert. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A quick first down pickup. Good start after going 3 and out on their opening drive.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Able to hit his target, Lamb. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Prescott now.
Tolbert hauls in the out route.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
A good-looking drive for the Cowboys so far. It's a first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Over the middle, hauled in by Lamb.
And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession. Ball on the 27. Here's second down and a yard.
To the air again, Prescott.
A short one there taken in by Ferguson.
And he's brought down, but not before a gain of 13, down to the 13. First and 10 in the red zone.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
On first down, it's Blue. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A 13-yard touchdown run.
And the Cowboys have cut it back within a score.
And on his way to the end zone, shedding the tackle, he would not be denied.
That's what's called finishing the run. Making sure you power your way through. One-on-one tackle. No running back wants to go to the bench and say, I got stopped just short.
Aubrey good with a PAT.
And that'll make our score 14-7.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Packers offense set to go.
And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
To pass, here's Jordan Love.
They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. This is the correct call.
Here's Jacobs from the gun. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 45 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
That was good, tough running right up the middle, and if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
He's going to launch this deep for Watson.
It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Packers.
Christian Watson 50 yards. And the Packers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they've got it up past the 35, so pretty good starting field position. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. From the 38 now, here comes 2nd and 8. Off the play fake, Prescott. Short pass taken in by Schoonmaker. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Prescott from the gun. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 30. They give them 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Well, defensively, they're doing everything they can to protect this early lead after giving up a touchdown on their last drive.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Out of the gun, they run with blue. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Throwing, Prescott. He's got the first down and more. And down to the 19-yard line. A good-looking drive for the Cowboys so far. It's a first down.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Play fake. Here's Prescott. That's to Schoonmaker, the tight end. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Luke Schoonmaker from 19 yards away. And the Cowboys are back within a score. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. Green Bay's offense ready to go again. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and 6. And they'll send the tight end in motion. Love. He finds his man. Complete. That's Jacobs. Give him 3 on the screen. He couldn't break free, and it's 3rd down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
The Packers on 3rd down. Can't be any better than a perfect 6 for 6. This time it's 3rd and 3. Play action this time with Love. Same target. It's Jacobs again. Just a gain of a couple there. And it'll be 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. On 4th down, the Packers call on Daniel Whelan to punt. Cavante Turpin deep for the Cowboys. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They came out not so hot. The first quarter, they were sputtering a little bit, but they seem to have stayed the course and really righted the ship here in the second.
Well, let's face it, all the preparation that goes into getting ready for a game, all the scouting reports, the practice, the repetition, sometimes you hit a little bit of a lull to start things off. Maybe you get a little flat, but if you put in that time, you put in that effort, it can come back to you, and that's what we're seeing so far.
Now can they keep that momentum going? And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Here's a give, left side, Blue with it. And he can muster only a couple here to the 24. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
That is caught, and he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs.
Well, we use the term pitch and catch a lot to denote an easy completion. We just saw one right there on 3rd and 3 to pick up the first down.
Why are those so tough to defend? Just because they hit so quickly?
Yeah, it's all about timing and confidence. Quarterback sees it, rips it, there you go.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. Making that play on the pass rush, that's Devontae Wyatt.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Prescott. He hits Blue. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Hook up a 15 yards there. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
That's a good bounce-back play right there after taking a sack on 1st down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
And that's going to be incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Green Bay offense ready to take over. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains, that means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll leave him with a 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he is not going anywhere. He will not even get back to the line of scrimmage as the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. And here's Daniel Whelan on now to punt. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Now Prescott. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. That'll give them 8 that time, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and just a couple.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
Prescott now from the 50. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Cowboys 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a 1st down.
Prescott yet again. Going right back to Ferguson.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now Prescott. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. And again, it's Prescott. Over the middle, complete. That's Ferguson. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Second and 2, 1st down marker at the 8. Looking to throw. Prescott. He's got it. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the 2nd quarter. Final play of the half. Prescott. Touchdown! Javonte Williams in the final seconds of the first half. And the Cowboys have a chance to tie the game here in the final seconds of the half. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes, because that's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Packer offense heading back for one final first half drive. And they'll have time for one play. That's it. 3 seconds to go before intermission. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. Final play of the half, Love. Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Cowboy offense set to go to begin this third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Finding Tolbert here over the middle. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a first down, his 4th catch of the game after having 3 in the first half.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. On the draw, here's Blue. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
And that was a good run, and it should get the attention of the defense, but they can't just dwell on it. They've been playing so well this entire game. Maybe they just look at it and say, okay, congratulations, you got one on us, and just not let it turn into more.
They'll try and run again with Blue. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On play action, Prescott. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Here's 2nd and 10. To throw is Prescott. Able to hit his target, Lamb. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Left side to Lamb. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
They'll run. This is Blue. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Cowboys have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. Aubrey now for the point after. And it's good. That makes it a 28-21 game. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. Well, Charles, you and I said at intermission, feels like we're set up for a good second half. Well, the other side scored. Now it's up to them to answer. How do they respond here with their first drive of the second half?
Well, bottom line is they just saw the ball go in the end zone against their defense, and they saw what good offense looks like. They believe they've got a good offense as well. Run the best plays you've got to the top performers you have and try to move that ball down the field for an answering score.
Let's face it, that's just a helpless feeling for a running back there. He's looking up to find a hole, and all he finds is a whole lot of ticked-off linebacker.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Love. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw now. Here's Love. He'll get this underneath to Jacobs. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that.
Brandon, it certainly looked like they had that play defended well, but it still almost worked. Got it to the running back. He wound up getting really good yardage out of it, but it was 3rd and long, and they were able to rally and stop him before he could get to the marker.
Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return, and out will come the offense as they take over. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He finds Pickens over the middle. 2 yards on the pickup there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Here's a 2nd and 8. They go with Blue between the tackles. Powers through it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Cowboy 1st down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Here's Prescott. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI. So pass interference, the call there. Always, obviously, Charles, such a subjective call. You agree with the penalty?
Well, from where we're standing right now, I think the officials are tightening things up here in the 2nd half. Maybe a defender gets away with that in the first, but this time the flag comes out, and I think it's a good call.
Now Blue trying the right side. And down to the 41.
We know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They go again with Blue. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. 53 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
Down at the 25.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 6. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Yeah, once more, strong running. Excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Here's Prescott. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. 3 touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott.
And the Cowboys have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Play fake. Here's Love. Able to find his man, Kraft.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
But give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
Now a give to Jacobs running right. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's about it. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line to hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
They'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the third quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
He'll find Lamb. That's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Cowboys with the football. They'll be looking to tack on to their lead as we get set for the fourth. Throwing, Prescott. Another one to CeeDee Lamb. He's got it. And he's got this down to the 35. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His second catch in a row, first down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. They'll run up the middle here with Blue. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down, fourth quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it at them. We've got them now.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now,
and he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Jalen Tolbert. A 20-yard touchdown. And the Cowboys have put this one to bed here in the fourth quarter. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Another drive coming up for this Packers offense. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Love. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Love now. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
To the air again, Love. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out.
And, oh, that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Desperation time here. Love on 4th down. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
They will throw again here with Jordan Love.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Now a 2nd and 10.
To pass, here's Jordan Love. That's taken in by Watson. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Third and 5.
Here's Love.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Let's just call it as we just saw it right there, a breakdown defensively. Seems like no one went with the tight end, and no one really did. Had all sorts of space in the middle of the field. Yeah, everyone else was covered, but he was not. Big play results.
Toward the pylon, but it's incomplete.
And down here, 1st and goal, if it's not there, don't force it. You've got at least 2, if not 3 more shots at it. So that's a wise move to get rid of it.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. Again, it's Love. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown reception.
And the Packers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
McManus's point after is good, and the lead will be cut down to 14. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Now that should give him a spark. He's across the 40 to the 43. Dallas offense set for this next drive.
Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
Prescott from the gun.
Got an open man. It's Pickens.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
Again, Matt LaFleur loudly voicing his objections to that previous call. He's going to throw out the red challenge flag. From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd down and 2.
Play action now. Prescott. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That's good for 28 yards.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because, to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28.
Rashawn Gary just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Well, partner, I would say just avoid play action, but that's not just been the problem. This defense, they've been getting pressure on all types of pass plays and really piling up the sacks in this contest.
Off the play fake, Prescott. His throw incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead, it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 17.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
Fast, slow, it doesn't matter. If you give a quarterback enough room to escape, he can hit you for a big gain. You've got to give him a little more focus moving forward.
And the move from Mike McCarthy is going to be to keep the offense on the field here on 4th down. They're going for it. Prescott down.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And the Cowboys are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Well, the feel that I get on this is that they felt like 3 was just not going to be enough after getting this deep into their territory.
And Charles, correct me if I'm wrong, but it didn't even look like they hesitated there. They knew they wanted to go for it.
That tells me that during the week, they were thinking about these situations, and they feel like maybe...
Did he get the feed down? Yes! Touchdown!
Luke Schoonmaker,
a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game.
And the Cowboys have opened up a 3-score lead as they pull away here in the 4th. And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. Aubrey now for the PAT.
And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be second down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Well, the pressure gets to Love, and he'll go down. Micah Parsons make that now 4 sacks for him in tonight's ball game.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
On 4th down, Love. And that is incomplete. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. They hand it off. It's Blue. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2. And it brings up 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
On to give, this is Blue. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Well, praise has to go to the guys in the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
To throw is Prescott. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
So on 4th down, Prescott off, and on is Aubrey for the Cowboy field goal. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. So after the made field goal, back out is Aubrey to kick this away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. But probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the 4th quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one. And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, I think we knew who was going to win this one well before we got to this stage.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Working out of the gun, Love. And that's going to be incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Throwing, Love. Able to shake him off. And the throw there going to be incomplete. I don't know. He had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
No, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
Or the mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That is caught. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Not often do 4th down conversions result in 23 yards, but that's the case here. 1st down. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked in the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. Second down and 4. Now Love. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Love looking to throw it. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
And here you're down in the red zone. You need to be smart, not force anything. So that's a wise decision to just get rid of the football.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Buying time to his left. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this 10-play drive winds up yielding nothing. And now here come the Cowboys. Just all around a solid performance. And now they've got the 3-score lead here, Charles. So the final seconds of the 4th quarter.
Yeah, in this one, they've been in control, haven't they? They've earned this victory. No question who the better team was out there in this game. And frankly, the score could have been a lot worse than it was. Give them a lot of credit for how they played in this one.
Brought down that time by Quay Walker. So no shortage of offense in this game, but a very clean game too, Charles. Each side got its points, but they did so without committing a single turnover.
That's so true, and it certainly felt like NFL football at its finest, right? You talk about the highest level from both of these offenses. Neither one of them afraid of taking risks, and both of them aggressively pushing it downfield. I did like, Brandon, how smart they were about going about their business, though. They were high-flying, but they took care of the ball.
Yeah, they did, and just keeping it clean in a game like this with all these points, you don't see that very often, even at the highest level. Job well done by both sides. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Cowboys as we sign off and say so long from Arlington.